Once upon a time, in a pixelated world called Minecraft, there lived a boy named Steve and a girl named Alex. They were best friends who went on exciting adventures together every day. One morning, Steve and Alex woke up in their blocky beds, excited for another fun day of mining and crafting. After eating a quick breakfast of bread and apples, they set off to explore. "Where should we go today?" asked Alex. Steve smiled and said, "Let's head to the forest biome to gather some wood." The pair hiked through the forest, chopping down oak and birch trees with their diamond axes. They gathered logs, saplings, apples and more. Suddenly, Alex spotted something strange behind a tree. "Steve, look," she shouted. Peeking out was a portal swirling with purple light. Steve and Alex looked at each other with wide eyes. "Let's check it out," said Steve, and they both jumped into the portal. With a flash of light, Steve and Alex found themselves in the real world. Only, everything looked hyper-realistic and extremely detailed now. "Where are we?" gasped Alex. Steve peered around the forest. The trees looked almost alive, swaying in the wind with rustling leaves. "I think we're in the same forest biome, but it looks so different." The blocky dirt was now textured earth, the flat clouds were big and fluffy. Alex reached out and felt the rough tree bark under her fingers. She bent down to examine a purple flower, its petals soft. A butterfly with intricate wings fluttered by. "This world feels so magical," she said in awe. Steve nodded. "Let's explore." The two friends hiked through the vivid forest, marveling at all the new sights. They watched busy ants march in a line and heard birds singing. "It's so full of life," said Steve. Rounding a corner, they stumbled upon a field of tall grass. Long blades swayed in the breeze. Alex ran her hands along them, laughing. "The textures are amazing." Steve and Alex continued walking when Alex suddenly stopped. "Do you hear that?" She pointed to the distance where a beautiful waterfall was flowing into a pool. "Let's go." They raced over to see the water sparkling in the sun. Rainbows glimmered in the mist. Alex knelt down and put her hand in the refreshing water. "I wish we could explore this world forever," said Steve. But suddenly, the ground began shaking violently beneath their feet. "Earthquake!" shouted Alex. The cliff holding the waterfall started crumbling and rocks tumbled down. Steve yelled, "Run," and they sprinted away as boulders smashed into the pool behind them. Steve and Alex hurried back into the woods, their hearts pounding. The ground finally stopped shaking. "That was scary," said Alex, catching her breath. "I know, I thought we'd get crushed," said Steve. The sky was getting dark now. "We should find shelter for the night," Alex said. The two gathered wood and made a crafting table like they always did in Minecraft. But instead of making a flat blocky shelter, Steve expertly crafted a log cabin with a roof, windows and door. "Wow, Steve, this looks great," Alex said, impressed. They went inside the cozy cabin, placed down torches and made beds to sleep in. Soon the blocky friends were fast asleep, tired from their long first day in the real world. In the morning, Alex woke up to the sound of birds singing outside. She stretched and looked out the window at the lush forest. "Steve, let's explore more today." Steve yawned and nodded. "Yeah, but first, let's make some better tools and armor to be safe." The crafty duo went outside and gathered materials from the world to upgrade their equipment. Steve made a stone axe while Alex crafted a wooden shield. They mined iron ore from a cave to make iron armor, helmets, swords and pickaxes. "Now we're ready for anything," Alex said. Steve high-fived her. "Let's go on an adventure." The pair set off, fighting through thick bushes and tall grass. Up ahead was an enormous mountain. "I bet we can see the whole world from the top," said Steve, excited. They started climbing up the rocky cliffs, helping each other up ledges. Halfway up the mountain, Alex heard a loud roar from inside a dark cave. "Was that a bear?" she whispered. Steve pulled out his sword. "Might be," he said, inching towards the cave. Suddenly, an enormous grizzly bear swiped its claws at them. Alex lifted her shield to block the attack. "Watch out!" cried Steve. The angry bear stood up on two legs, roaring loudly. It tried to smash them, but Steve and Alex swung their swords, driving the beast back into its cave. "Phew! Good thing we have iron armor," said Alex. Bruised but alive, the duo made it to the mountain peak by nightfall. They looked out in awe at the incredible view. Lush forests, rolling hills and snowy mountains stretched as far as they could see. In the valley was an enormous castle lit up with torches. "This world is so epic," said Steve. "I never want to leave." Alex nodded. "Me too." They sat together on the cliff under the starry sky, the kingdom sparkling below. As the first rays of sunlight peeked over the mountains, Steve said, "I had an idea last night." "What is it?" asked Alex. "Since this world is so amazing, why don't we live here from now on?" Alex's eyes widened. "Really? You mean it?" Steve smiled and nodded. Alex jumped up and hugged him tight. "Thank you. This will be the greatest adventure ever." And so began Steve and Alex's new lives in the real world. They traveled through different biomes and explored giant caves full of ores. Along the way, they helped villages defeat pillager raids and saved farmers from zombie sieges. The world was so much more exciting with real physics and infinite possibilities. Every day was a new adventure. Steve mastered crafting shelters, furniture, weapons and tools to help them survive. Alex planted crops, tamed animals and experimented with potions. They mined diamonds to craft powerful armor and weapons to defeat three-headed hydras, fire-breathing dragons and giant sea monsters while exploring the ocean. Tales of their heroic adventures spread far and wide. One day, while mining deep underground, Steve and Alex discovered railway tracks leading to a secret abandoned minecart station. After restoring the power, they rode the speeding minecart along an incredible roller coaster track that carried them to a hidden ancient temple. Dodging arrow traps and lava pits, they raced down corridors outrunning giant boulders and slide down tunnels to finally reach the heart of the temple. Inside a glowing chamber was a portal swirling with purple light, their way back home to Minecraft. Steve and Alex stepped through the portal and found themselves back in their original blocky Minecraft world. But now, it looked different to their eyes. "You know, Steve, even though this world isn't realistic, it will always feel like home," said Alex. Steve held her hand smiling. "It sure will." And together, the two friends lived happily ever after in the blocky magical world of Minecraft, their amazing memories of the real world now part of their endless adventures. The end.